So, what does it take to make $1 million, or how many trades do you have to take to make $1 million in the world of prop trading? I'm making this video because, as of late, there's been one trader in particular who's done phenomenal stuff. I'm just going to assume that he's being legitimate and transparent, and I know he made, I think, $2 million in a week, and I believe today, on the day of this recording, which is April the 22nd, he made another $400,000 plus today. So let's just assume that everything's legitimate, and I'm not doubting him. I'm just wondering how he's doing that. And so what I wanted to do is just make this tutorial. Actually, it's not really a tutorial, just a video, but I built this tool called the New Equity Curve, NEC, and this will answer that question for a lot of traders of how difficult that is. Now, one caveat, I know he's using a fully funded account, so I have no idea how much this particular trader has at his disposal with regards to drawdown and equity and whatnot. So I'm going to just answer the question, what does it take to make $1 million? Can it be done? I'm going to use Take Profit Trader. So let's just get into this. If you haven't seen my previous web tutorial on the New Equity Curve, it's a powerful tool. I built it. I'm a full-time trader. This is my 28th year, I believe, of trading now. Originally an options and derivatives trader, and then I switched over into just a directional futures trader and a prop firm trader myself. So I prefer Take Profit Trader. But what I'm going to do is just real quick, I'm just going to repeat some of the things that I've said before. Anything in dark blue is a user-defined field. So all of this here, the risk tolerance, your stop loss, which is a user-defined variable, the trader stability index, which I'm not going to get into right now, your dollar goal, what do you want to make, and of course, how many consecutive losses. I haven't really covered this in too great a detail either, but this application will calculate roughly how many losses you can take in a row based on your performance as a trader. So I'll just jump right over here. And remember what I just said, everything in dark blue is a user-defined field. So this section here is called absolute losses. And what I have populated here is a trader who's a very, very good trader. And so he or she, out of 100 trades or 1,000, whatever you want, 75% of the trades are wins and 25% are losses. So I can change that by using the spinners, and I could say maybe you're not that good of a trader, so let's increase the win-loss ratio. So here's a trader, it's probably going to rotate one more time. Here's a trader who is very good, still very good. Out of 100 trades, he or she would be wrong on 36 trades and correct on 64. But for this example, and then of course we've got our profit targets, we've got our stop losses. We could trade, in this example here, I've got it populated for what I'm going to show, which is how long will it take us to get to $1 million in trading. Is it possible? It is. It's very, very difficult, and you're going to see that momentarily. But I could easily just say, for example, let's just say this is a trader who had all his profit on a winning outcome. He was taking all his profit at his first profit target. So this tool was designed so that you don't have to do that. Maybe he wants to take part of his position off the table once it becomes a winning trade. And what I'm doing is I'm increasing the probability of reaching the higher profit target. So here is a trader who is profit target is 3 to 1. So what does that mean? Our multiple is 3. So if you are willing to risk 15 points over here, again, a user-defined variable. So if you're willing to risk 15 points, which equates to $30, that's because we're trading the micro NASDAQ. I'm going through some of this very quickly. Again, if you want to learn how this application works, you can watch my previous video tutorial that I put together. So again, here is a trader trading the micro NASDAQ, $2 a point, and a 15-point stop loss is 30 points for every single micro that you trade, and a 3 to 1 risk to reward is going to pay you $90. Okay, so 30 on the risk. And again, this is user defined. A trader could come along and say, well, I like something a little lower or maybe a little bit higher. Profit target 2, down here is the win weighting. So if you have a winning outcome, if you are not stopped out of the trade, you could have a break even, which is in gray called no man's land. But if you reach your first profit target, you have choices. Okay, so in this example, we have a trader just trading a single micro contract. Let's increase that. Let's go up to 5. So now we have a trader trading 5 contracts, 5 micro NASDAQ right there. So on a 15-point stop loss, each point is $2, and he's trading 5, so it's $10 a point. Well, a 15-point stop times $10, because he's trading or she's trading 5 contracts, is $150 loss. Well, if you're trading on a 3-to-1, that means you would, if it's a winner and you decide to take all 5 of your contracts off or close the trade out, you'd make $450. So it's a 3-to-1 risk to reward. But some traders will say, I'm going to close out, let's just say, for example, 2 of the contracts. That's going to pay you $270. Maybe 2 contracts here in profit target 2, and then of course 1 contract in profit target 3. It's the hardest to reach. So again, I kind of am repeating myself because I have a video up that I previously uploaded, and you can watch that and I walk you through this. But this number here always has to be at 100. So I've got 1, there we go. Let's, put it to 99. There we go. So it doesn't happen often. It's only a 5% chance of reaching the most aggressive profit target. All of these are R multiples, 3, 6.54, I don't know, it's just a random number. And then of course 14.2. So I just wanted to show you that you can do that. And if you hit F9, I can randomize your outcome. So we're not going to randomize your wins or losses, okay? If that's how good of a trader you are, you're a 65% or 64% winning trader, that's fantastic. Out of your winning outcomes, which would be the 64, some of them will not make anything at all, okay? Those are the break-even trades, okay? And some will make it to profit target 2, and some will make it to profit target 3. And each time you go for a bigger profit target, of course, the probability diminishes because it's harder to reach. Otherwise, we'd always just be going for a 6R or a 7R or a 10R, whatever. But that's not reality. Those are the big ones. They happen once in a while, and you have to accommodate for that by adjusting the user-defined variable and saying, what's the probability of me actually getting a 6.5R? Well, it doesn't happen often. It does happen, but just not that often. You also just saw the application populate. It's a little bit laggy because I'm in record mode as I record this web tutorial, but you can see here. Here's this would be a profit target 3 being reached, and the payoff is $938 on a cumulative basis. So what I mean by that is 180 at the first profit target, 392, and then 426 comes to $938.40 if you actually reach that profit target. Again, only a 5%. The way I've got it modeled out, only 5% of the time that will happen. But I just wanted to show you that. And if I hit F9, which is the power of this application, it's a Monte Carlo simulation. What that means is it's going to shuffle the order of your wins and losses. It will never, ever, ever change your variables that you've put in. So your stop loss is 15 points. You're trading the micro NASDAQ. You're going to scale out with 2 contracts at profit target 1, 2 contracts at profit target 2, and 1 contract at profit target 3 for a total of 5 contracts. It's never going to change your win-loss ratio. So in this case, the trader is a 36% losing trader and a 64% winning trader. It's never going to change your profit target 1, 2, or 3. So those are all yours. But what this will do, and I'm going to do it right now, is as I hit F9, it's going to shuffle the random order of your wins and losses. And this is going to answer probably the biggest question to most traders, which is how long is it going to take me to not only pass the evaluation, how long is it going to take me to cover off the buffer? And then here, remember what I said at the beginning of this tutorial, anything in dark blue is a user-defined variable. So what is your goal? Like, you're not going to get paid any money for passing the evaluation. You don't get paid anything in your pocket, even just covering the buffer. You have to pass the evaluation, cover the buffer, and then what are you after? So I've got this in here, and I believe you can go all the way up to $100,000 here. So how long, this application answers how long in terms of number of trades is it going to take me on average to pass the evaluation, to pass the buffer zone, and then to reach whatever dollar goal you define as a user or as a trader. And of course, you can't blow the account in the interim. So with Take Profit Trader, Again, I'm kind of repeating myself, so I apologize for that. But there was a daily drawdown, that meaning you couldn't lose X number of dollars in a given day. That has been removed. Take Profit Trader dropped that about 6 months ago, so I've just got to update this application. But that has been removed. But what has not been removed, and it never will be, is your end of day drawdown. So you cannot lose $2,000 while you're in the evaluation. Okay, so that was just a real quick housekeeping. Let's answer the question of how long will it take a trader to make $1 million? Can it be done? Well, yeah, I'm going to show you how it can be done. So let's go ahead and just assume we're going to do an all-in and an all-out type of a trade. So we can accomplish that. I'm going to once again put all these back down to 0 just for illustrative purposes. And we'll return this back down to 0. We're not going for profit target 2 or profit target 3. And we're still going to trade the 5 contracts. And I'll tell you why I used 5. Because we're going to use Take Profit Trader. Take Profit Trader allows, using a copy trader, a maximum of 5 accounts. So I've got that populated right here. So number of accounts, copy trading. So I had it already set at 5. I could have shown you, here it is at 1. And maybe you've got 3 accounts, but I'm just going to return that to 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at the largest account that Take Profit Trader offers, which is 150,000. So with the 150K account, which is the largest Take Profit Trader offers, and they allow you to purchase up to 5 accounts at one time, what's the limit? What's the maximum we can trade as far as number of contracts on the mini and the micro? Well, let me just take a quick look here, and I have that set up. So here's Take Profit Trader, and if we go to the 150K account, you can see that you can trade up to 15 minis or 150 micros. Okay, so 15 is the maximum on the minis and 150 on the micros. So let's just return to the application, and we're going to change this from the micro NASDAQ, and we're going to now trade the mini NASDAQ. Okay, and we're trading 5 we're trading 5 accounts. And we're going to max this out. We're going to try and get to that $1 million payout, right? So you're allowed to trade up to 15 mini contracts. We're trading the mini, not the micro. So let's go ahead and put it all the way up to 15. And that's 14. One more, sorry. 15. Okay. So, can it be done? Can you make $1 million? Of course you can. The gentleman trader in the last week did, I believe, about $2 million, and I think he did another 150,000 yesterday and another 400,000. Remarkable. I've never seen that before, but again, I'm not questioning his ability to do it. It just goes to show you that it can if you trade in enough size. What I don't know is his risk tolerance and what he's working with as far as actual capital. But what I wanted to show a trader who's inspired by those numbers, how difficult it is. So again, we're trading the Take Profit Trader account, 150K, and we're trading the maximum 15 contracts, okay, of the mini, not the micro. So 5 accounts, 150K, we're maxing it. We're putting the pedal to the metal. 15 mini contracts, $20 a contract. So let me do the math quickly in my head. It's a lot. That's 15 times, whoa, 20 times 10 is 200. It's $300 a point. It's $300 a point either way. So that's a big nut. I actually had to double check my math on that because I've never traded accounts or contracts to that size. But anyway, it's not a hard calculation. But $300 per point sounds great if you're on the winning side of a trade. Not so great if you're on the losing side of a trade. Again, we have a 3 to, I didn't change the risk tolerance. So let's say you have a 15-point stop loss. So that is, ironically, $4,500. If it's a losing trade on the mini NASDAQ at $20 a point, and you're trading 15 mini contracts, each time you're wrong with a 15-point stop loss, each time that you're wrong or get stopped out, it's going to cost you $4,500. Well, interestingly enough, that's the maximum that you are allowed to lose. So let's say, for example, you got a buy signal. Let's go long in this example. And I don't care what your methodology is. That's not what this conversation is about or what this application cares about. You took or you purchased 5 evaluations or 5 accounts with Take Profit Trader the 150K account, and you're going to max it. You're going to put the pedal to the metal. And again, I'm just doing that for illustrative purposes, but I'm just going to show you how difficult it is to try to reach a $1 million profit target. So if you're stopped out on one single trade, if you max it out, you basically just blew the account right there. The maximum, if you see where my mouse is, it says end of day drawdown. The maximum that you can lose in the evaluation phase is $4,500. Well, if you're going to trade 15 mini contracts and you have a 15-point stop loss, you just blew the account. Okay, $4,500. Now, just for fun, let's hit F9, and we're gonna randomize because here it is right here. We're gonna randomize the outcomes. So let me just do that first. There we go. So I want to draw your attention once again. If you see here in daily drawdown, this has been removed by Take Profit Trader. This no longer holds. It's not a rule that is no longer enforced. But here, the end of day drawdown, all you have to do is hit 1 and you blew the account. So let's randomize some outcomes here. And if it highlights, if the number is highlighted here, if there's any value in this column, once again, it doesn't matter. Or this in particular, this column, which is still a valid rule, obviously. If there's any value in here, it means you blew the account at some point during the life of the trade. One of the other things I want to show you is every time I'm tapping F9 on my computer, it's randomizing, or using what's called a Monte Carlo simulation. It's randomizing your settings. So yeah, maybe you had 3 wins in a row last week, but this week you've just taken 4 losses in a row. This application answers all the what ifs in the world of trading. But if you scroll down, or I'm going to scroll down here, you can see that there are 600 rows right here. If I'll highlight it, that's row number 600. So every time we hit F9, it's recalculating and reshuffling 600 rows times 1,000, meaning it's 600,000 potential outcomes each and every time based on the criteria or the specific variables that you've put in as a trader. So how hard is it to reach $1 million? Well, we're here also copy trading the accounts, okay? So we've got 5 accounts. So here's the value that we'd be looking at. So I'm going to hit F9 and keep your eye on what some of the payouts are if you maxed out the account with 15 mini, not micro, mini accounts, mini contracts on 5 copy traded 150K Take Profit Trader accounts. So let's just go ahead and shuffle. And as you can see, there was one that went above $1 million. And I'm going to explain why, or you can watch my previous video as to why I'm using scale with break even. Okay, that's the superior way to trade. This is a single exit, which is what we're kind of doing in this example anyway. But with scaling with break even, what happens is if it becomes a winner up to a certain dollar amount, that's up to a user to define. But let's say you're put on a position and it starts to move in your favor. It has not hit your profit target yet, which would be 45 points, but maybe you're up 10 or 20 points. What you would do is you would adjust your stop loss to break even. It's that's standard practice for most professional traders. Is you may not have reached your profit target as yet, but you also don't want a winning trade to turn into a losing trade. So at the very least, if you haven't taken your profit off the table, at the very least you will adjust your initial stop loss to break even. So there's a potential that even though it's an opening winning trade, it may turn around, come back down, assuming we're long the market. So we're in a position, we're long, it starts going in your favor, you adjust your stop loss, and then it turns around and comes back down and it hits your entry price. So the only thing you'd have to pay for would be the commission. So you haven't lost any of your trading capital. So that's factored in this variable here. So you can see a green outcome. Anytime you see a green outcome, that's the $13,500 under profit target 1. Everything is color coordinated. If you take a loss, there it is in black, it's a $4,500 loss. You just blew the account. Okay. And if it's gray, well, that's self-explanatory. That is what I call, or I label it as no man's land. It's basically just a break-even trade. You didn't make anything, you didn't lose anything. But what I'm trying to show you clearly is it's next to impossible to try to reach $1 million. And again, without hitting your max loss, without hitting your end of day drawdown max limit, which would be minus 4,500, because you are so, yes, they give you the 15 contracts to trade, but it's basically they're giving you enough rope to hang yourself. That's what they're doing. They, as in the prop firms. So again, I'm just going to shuffle a few more. Okay, great. You had a few trades here that you would have not been stopped out on, and on a cumulative basis, you would have made a lot of money. You would have passed the evaluation here. This number here, all these values here tell you how long it would take you to reach the goal. So in this case, how long will it take me to pass my evaluation? 2 trades. Okay, your evaluation target is $9,000. Well, 2 trades, you've got it covered. But if I hit F9, it'll change. 4, 10, 5, 3. Once again, this has been removed, the daily drawdown. But the end of day drawdown is obviously still going to remain intact. And how long would it take, or how many times did I blow the account? Well, out of 600 potential outcomes, 256 times you blew the account. Okay, a single trade, a single loss with 15 minis, and you just hit your max loss. And then, of course, over here, how long does it take me to cover through the buffer zone? Only 1 or 2. But again, as we shuffle, 6, 2, 1, 4, 5, you can see that you can pass the buffer very quickly if you're trading inside, but you need those winning trades. And let me increase these numbers, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a really, really good trader. I'm talking anybody who is doing 75% of all their trades. So out of 100 trades, they're right on 75. That's rare territory. I could tell you that right now. There are not too many traders that have that kind of a track record. There are some, but that's not the norm, I can assure you. So here's a trader who's right 75% of the time. But remember, if a trader looks at me and says, I'm right on 75 out of 100 trades, then by default, you're also telling me that you're wrong on 25. And I would turn around and ask that trader, when are the 25 losses going to occur? And they kind of sit there and scratch their head. My point is, you don't know when those 25 out of the 100 trades, and as good a trader as you are, you have no idea when those 25 trades are going to come at you. And as a trader who's that good, I want to show you something, who's right on 75% or his or her trades. I have a user-defined feature in here, which is what is the probability of me taking 5 consecutive losses? If I'm a 75% winning trader, again, user-defined, I want to stress that. These are your values, your variables. So if you're that good of a trader, what are the odds of you taking 5 trades in a row that are losses? So let's go ahead and hit F9. We're going to keep our eye right here. Okay. And let's go ahead and F9 and shuffle. There was one instance. It's not very often, but there were two right there. One, my point being, as good a trader as you are, right on 75 out of 100 trades, wrong on 25%, you can still have that rare 5 losses in a row. It doesn't happen very often. Remember, there's 600 rows, so every time I hit F9, it's counting how often out of 600 trades did I take 5 losses in a row. But what about this? That's pretty extreme, but what about 3 losses in a row? Okay, as good. And now this is going to come up even, it's going to give us a much greater count. What I mean by that is, how many times did I take 3 losses in a row? Well, it's much, much easier for a trader to have 3 consecutive losses than it is 5 when you're a 75% winning trader. So let's go ahead and hit F9. Look at that, 10. There are 10 times in these 600 potential trades where you took 3 losses in a row. My point I'm trying to make is, if you max out 5 150 take profit trader, 150K take profit trader accounts, and go with the mini, not the micro, and you max it out with 15 contracts, all it takes is 1 loss for you to blow the account. And here, a very, very, very good trader who's right 75% of the time could not look me in the eye and tell me when the 25 losses will occur. Nobody knows. And yet here, as good as that trader is, being right 75% of the time, he or she, in this example, over 600 trades, there will be 7 times where you're going to take 3 losses in a row. 7 different times. And if I hit F9, it'll randomize that again. 11, 7, 10, 5, 4. There's no way you're going to be able to reach $1 million by maxing out 5 take profit trader 150K accounts and then trading 15 mini contracts just because they make it available for you. If you hit if this ever has a value, this column right here, which is the end of day drawdown, if any value lights up in this row, you've blown the account at some point. It could be trade number 1, it could be trade number 212, it could be trade number 516, or it could be trade 600. No one knows. It doesn't matter. The point is, you can blow the account, or it could be, like I said, trade number 1. So let's bring down the number of contracts. Okay, let's bring it down to 10. How does that look? Okay, so now our max loss would be, of course, It's $20 a point, and we're trading 10 contracts. So 10 times 20 is $200, 15-point stop. So now our stop loss is $3,000. So if we take a loss, we haven't blown the account. We still have $1,500. But look at the ability for you to make that $1 million. It's very, very difficult. So once again, 7, 6, 9, and this is assuming you don't blow the account in the process. Well, here we would have blown the account, right? Once again, anytime something lights up in this column, that means you blew the account. It means you're trading too big in size. And quite frankly, the prop firms know this. They love this. You paid for the evaluation and you blew up. Okay, so that's what I was trying to stress. Again, can it be done? Yeah, let's just go back up to 15. Okay, let's go to 15. And let's see if I can actually model out. Let's just pretend that you didn't blow the account. Okay, let's just pretend this didn't exist. There was no end of day drawdown. So let's go ahead and hit F9, and we can see 877 there. There's $1 million, and that's in the first 30 trades. That's in the first 30 trades, which is reflected right here. The first 30 trades, well, in this example, look at this. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 or 9 wins in a row, a break even, then a win, win, win. The odds of that happening they exist. They exist because this trader, once again, is a 75% winning trader. But let's try to get, there we go. I've got it at 1,125,000. Okay. And that actually happened by copy trading 5 accounts. That happened in the first 30 trades. That's where this value is calculated from. There's one at 1,147. Over 150 trades, from trades 1 to 150, you could get up to $4 million. But again, you cannot blow the account. So can it happen? Yes. But these prop firms are far from stupid. They're very profitable. And that's basically gambling if you're putting on a position that size in order to try and reach it. So again, the gentleman trader who has made some incredible returns these last couple of weeks, kudos to him. Again, I'm not doubting anything he says. I'm just trying to show the average trader how unrealistic it is for you, unless you have a huge bankroll, for you to even come close to that kind of a return or a performance. He's got a lot of money behind him. There's no question about it. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and stay tuned for the next one. I'll upload that in a few days. Thanks for watching.